Oh, Cavalling. There we are. Oh, look at that. Vulture Authority official merchandise. Because today we're talking about the future of music. And obviously, as you all should be aware, Vulture Authority is a band, by the way. If you're not aware, go and listen to our music. It's excellent. So talking about the future of music, who better than the greatest band you've never heard yet? So, what is the future of music? Well, it's terrible, artless dross run by nepo babies, both executively and the artists themselves. So if you were looking for sourced journalism with, needle point precision, an optimistic outlook, you're in the wrong place. If you're looking for bitter, twisted ranting against the injustices of the rich being able to make art and shit art, and the good working class people of the world like me, who's filming this before work, then you're in the right place. So if you want bitterness, if you want whinging, welcome. So, terrible, artless dross run by nepo babies. That's the future of the music industry. So get used to it. So, terrible, artless dross run by nepo babies. Let's get into that. The problem being now, obviously, music is no longer profitable for anyone to do. So there's no more such thing as successful, moderately successful bands that, 20 years ago, you could have made a decent living off, a tour every now and again. Making a few quid off shows, whatever. But now it's all streaming and stuff. Obviously, it's all the internet. And how do you get famous on the internet? Well, you pay for advertising space.
Pay all of the link, pay all of the playlist with check marks and follows and streams.
Which is obviously not the best avenue for people who have no fucking money, like me. So you have to rely on your personality and force of will, which, for me is not a problem. But for other people, that's not fair. 20 years ago, you would have had, obviously, bands who would have been able to make a decent living off small gigs and running around the country, touring constantly, etc., etc. Maybe they'll sell a few CDs, Green Day talk about this on a Howard Stern interview, where they're talking about, obviously, they would, if they were starting today, they wouldn't have been able to make it. Obviously, I think that's very true as well, because they managed to keep themselves going as a professional band by selling CDs and stuff out the back of a van and doing little garden gigs for people, which is obviously not a thing anymore. Now, obviously, you can't just moan about, there's no, the world's changed. We're not Ted Kaczynski, so we can't be whinging about that. And as a man who has a shit job, I understand people who would say, oh, boo-hoo, you have to do an actual job as well. But the problem being is not just that you have to do an actual job. The problem being is that if you don't have full-time artists or people who it is impossible to make a living from doing your art, then what happens is culture collapses, which we are seeing, not only just because of consumer choices, like people who watch Marvel films, who should be rounded up. I think every other sort of art form, comedy and, stuff like that, is more democratic than music is, because I used to think it was the other way around, as you have to be out, but it's not. So the economics of streaming really today mean there's two camps of musician. You're either huge and massive and famous, or you're nothing, essentially, and you have to fucking do telesales jobs like me. My point being is you have probably never heard your favourite band because the pressures that are under economically for people trying to make music or trying to make a career in the arts is now impossible. Now, I understand as a man who works a shit job, people cry, oh, boo-hoo, you have to do an actual job. I get that, fair enough. But the problem being is if you don't have any full-time artists and a working class perspective on the society. One, it doesn't get changed because people are just served whatever fucking radio slop from fucking David Guetta.
Shout out to his family.
Hard to sort of care about this kind of stuff, but you should care because everything will continue to get worse and more in favour of the rich and the arseholes if we don't do something about it. Like, for me, I'm not saying my opinion is objective fact. It is. But the point being is if all of your art is just made by rich kids with nothing to say, and that I find no value, anyway, in listening to the opinions of the rich. Oh, no, you broke up with your girlfriend. I don't care. You've got loads of money. You'll be fine. Actual working class voices drowning in a sea of absolute bollocks. Now, what is this nepo shite that I talk about, that I've rambled on about for God knows how long, this video? Well, what the nepo shite is people like Lola Young, who has one of the most annoying songs I have ever heard. Now, there's plenty of problems with this song, mainly being the fact she somehow manages to mess up rhyming clean with bean. How have you done that? How is that possible? It's the it rhymes. Why are you saying bean like bin? Also, within that song is the most trust fund complaint I have ever heard of anyone ever. You told me to get a job, but you didn't need one. You didn't need to get a job, did you not? How's that possible? It was a choice, was it? That you went and sold your labour? Huh? How's that possible in Keir Starmer's Britain? Eh? How have you managed that? Well, oh, that's funny, isn't it? Oh, your auntie is worth £100 million from a book she wrote. Now, this discourse has been done to death on Twitter, of course, as every discourse is done to death on. But people somehow do not understand and think it's ridiculous to call her nepo, despite the fact she has a great aunt worth £100 million and is from the creative arts. Now, how that is nepo is she's got contacts, she's got all this other stuff, you know, all these people she knows. And do you ever think, right? Oh, I've heard this song on the radio 700 million times. It must just because the radio really like it. It isn't. It's because they pay for it. It's called payola.
Payola Verdi, payola for playlist, blue check marks and follows and streams.
Apparently illegal, but obviously not if you use your brain, because all the stuff that's on the radio, all these kind of shit little hits like she's got at the minute, you can tell by that someone's going to be a one-hit wonder usually by the quality of the lyrics.
Welcome to One Hit Wonderland, where we take a look at bands and artists known for only one song.
If they've somehow managed to fluke it once, the quality of her lyrics are appalling. So I don't think we'll be, hopefully, don't have to hear from her again. But it's a possibility that she's going to stick about forever because of money. But there's more and more of these kind of fly-by-night people who come in and come and go with objectively terrible songs that you hear all the time on fucking Ronan Kemp or whatever you're forced to hear at work. Ronan Kemp, there you go again. That's nepo. Oh, how did you manage to land that radio job, son of Spandau Ballet fella? Oh, bet you had to work hard for that. There's just so much dreadful art about, and you go and listen to. I feel I'm qualified to this. You know, I'm not just one of these people who reviews things or calls other people's work shit and doesn't put themselves out there. I've put myself out there. You can call me shit if you want, and do. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if you don't like it. Not many people do, but the people who do are proper connoisseurs, do you know what I mean? So you can also buy the t-shirts, there you go, Cavalling, and exceptional merch. You won't get that with, the 1975. There's another nepo as well. Denise Welsh is nepotism for the fella who sings "Send the Buggers Back" and his wife who's on Loose Women. We're that low. We've scraped so much nepotism out the bottom of the barrel. We're now on Loose Women's Children. Let's put North London Forever guy as well. Terrible football song, and yet he's this is Arsenal have their own problems, of course, but North London Forever I think is chief among them.
I don't really know how they won that game. To be fair to them, how they've done it.
Inhaler, who's that? That's Bono's son. If there's any family I want to hear less from, it's Bono's. Go and fucking run your Siberian shopping centre without paying tax on it. I don't need to hear the opinions of your son, or always a bit sad. Not for me. Thank you very much. My overall point that I've rambled and laboured to here is the rich. Anyone rich or fucking born into wealth, I don't need to hear from artistically. You have no insight to offer me on life. Or there's a very, very small chance if you're actually good that you do. Because ultimately, your entire worldview is cancelled out by the fact that you've never had to fucking worry. So there's no jeopardy in your life. So I don't care about anything you do, and I don't want to hear about it, and I shouldn't have to, but I have to, because you run the industry. So that's my point. What is my point? My point is revolution. Let's have it. Let's get rid of these people. I'm sick of them. You're sick of them. Listen to Vulture Authority instead. They're better. Right. I feel I've probably rambled enough there. I'm not too sure if that was coherent. I think I got a bit too annoyed with myself, and I'll probably think, I could have said this point, and then I'll just put it in another video. So, if you want to see that, if you want to see more bitter, unhinged rants, do like, subscribe, all of that. Follow us on Instagram, at Vulture Authority. Twitter, at Fion Vitaser, that's me. I hate that face, and I can see it in the camera, and I'm sorry that I've just inflicted that upon you. But, oh well. So, yeah, that's another video filmed before work. Something that Lola Young, the 1975, the fellow who sings North London Forever, the other people I have slagged off in this video have never had to worry about. So, yeah, let's get rid of nepo babies in the arts. Just let's bin them. Let's King Herod the nepo babies, please. That would be fun for me. So yeah, but yeah. So I'll be on the lookout. Look for good independent artists, and you'll be able to tell if they're fucking poor because they've got there's a bit of art to the music. So do you know what I mean? Right. Anyway, subscribe, like, all that. I've still not washed my hair from day one. I'll try to for tomorrow's. Let's see. Might not. Right. Bye.